better. Even down with a joint deal. Power moves, let's get this cheddar. See bro niggas running their mouth, mad, cause they ain't getting no money. Plus they bitches be over, she on my dick and I'm all in the stomach. Y'all need to get one thing straight. No, I ain't finna play with y'all niggas. I'm the type to put my foot on your neck, start dancing and laugh when I do it. So don't try to play me stupid. I'm hot and I'm always lit. You better Google a young and I stay down till I'm legit. Looking fresh like Easter Sunday. Bossed up now, get to talk my shit. And I body every line. Ricky Bobby, post for the pic. So don't hit me up if it ain't about the money, cause I ain't got the time. Only kick it with real niggas, that's a few of my homegirls and some of my guys. You broke niggas need to do something like get you a job. Use the Migo flows to show them to go. Need 150s, a couple of dimes, damn. Thinking about bands today, running up quick like on delay. Bitch, I'm all the way, making these moves, I surf my way. Money man, get to the bag and then double that. Two bad bitches, so bloody hand. These niggas they hating, they mumbling, little nigga. I'm thinking about bands today, running up quick like on delay. Bitch, I'm on the way, making these moves, I serve my way. Money man, get to the bag and then double that. Two bad bitches, so bloody hand. These niggas they hating, they mumbling, little nigga.
Welcome back, guys. It is I.M.E Anomaly, and we are here with.
Hey, what's good? It's your boy D2FLY. Feel me? I'm here with my son, Marion, and here to explain to y'all what's going on here right now coming up. Yeah.
So your real name?
So, well, actually, my actual name is Devontae Hodge. I go by D2FLY. I'm an artist, a recording artist. I started recording back in like 2014. So I've been at it about 6 years now. Strong, faithfully. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. But I'm here.
So what made you go into music?
Well, it all started, I was actually going to the Albuquerque Job Corps Center, and I basically was trying to figure out a way to keep myself out of trouble and keep my head pretty much level, because I didn't want to sit there and feel like I was trapped or felt like my spirit was breaking. So I just went into music and just started writing, and it kind of helped soothe me. And then we ended up having a competition, like a school competition, I guess, and we ended up I ended up being asked to do a song for the center, and so I write my verse in one day. It was like a last minute song and everything. I write it in one day. We recorded the next day, and when I recorded that song, I just knew that I should make this a career, because it's just almost like second nature to me. So yeah.
Nice. I like that story. So what's like the hardest challenge trying to make a song or music or any of that?
Oh, that's a good question. The hardest part about making a song? Probably finding the right vibe. I think that's probably the hardest part. Because songs can give different vibes, instrumentals give different vibes. So like when you finally find a song or an instrumental that you want to make a song to, it all depends on basically the kind of mood that you're in. Because sometimes like for me, whenever I'm writing, depending on the song that it is based off my mood, usually. It's just because it helps better that way. But that's probably the hardest part, probably finding the vibe, because the words is the fun part. You know what I mean? That's the fun part. It's just finding the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. So, if you could compare yourself to like an artist of kind of what your sound is similar to.
Yeah.
Especially if anyone's like watching or listening and they don't know your music, who do you think would maybe almost like mimic your style, or like you would be kind of compared to?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I've had some people say that my music reminds them of Logic. I've had some people say it reminds them of Lupe Fiasco. Thank you. Of Lupe Fiasco. Sometimes Wiz Khalifa. For myself, I don't know where I would put myself. Probably in maybe like a Drake column. Only because I don't consider myself a rapper, but I do rap. Like I'm more like a recording artist. Cause Drake can rap and he can sing. You know what I mean? And I kind of do like a little bit of both. You know? So yeah, I would probably have to go with Drake on that one.
I can see that. Because I did notice, I think, on some of the songs I heard from your SoundCloud,
Yeah.
you were singing on some of them. I was like, oh, dang, I didn't even know.
You feel me? Yeah, that's where I'd rather keep my niche at, you know. I mean, people like to hear me rap. I mean, I like to spaz, you know what I mean? I like to spaz on the track. But as far as the song, you know, if a song requires singing, if it gives me the vibe of singing, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, like that's where I end up wanting to go, because I like to vibe out to the music, and Drake is one of those people that kind of gives a good vibe. So that's kind of
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
He's like in his own lane, but like nobody, I don't think really matches like his like talent, to be honest.
Yes, exactly, and that's how I look at it. Like I'm in my own lane, you feel me? Like, but at the same time, like I can't be. I don't feel like I could be mimicked. I don't feel like my sound could really be mimicked. I mean, I might be able to, you know, I could be sounding cocky, you know, but I think I've actually been able to cultivate my sound to be myself.
Like that. I feel like a lot of artists, especially when they're starting out, they don't know what their sound is, or they mimic so many different sounds throughout their whole musical career, and they're just like, I don't know what music I'm doing right now. Or they're like, I don't know which ones sound better for myself.
Yeah, and that's actually 100% truth. Like I mean, it kind of took me a minute to kind of find my artist sound, like where I actually fit as far as an artist goes. I mean, because it all is about experimentation. Too many people keep themselves in the comfort zone. You know, they want to do the trap. You know, the whole, you know what I mean? They all want to keep that, or if they don't, they go into extreme lyricism, you know what I mean? And a lot of people try to end up keeping themselves in a box. And I feel like it's better for us as artists to keep ourselves outside of the box. Or, you know, or instead of being outside of the box, expanding our box, you know, so that way we can have a sound that we cultivate our own, but we get from different places. I feel like that's what I am. Just because, like, I mean, being from Albuquerque, Mexico, you know, and we're a giant melting pot here, I feel like just the culture of the city itself influenced my music, because, like, I use myself as a melting pot for different styles, and that's how I think that's what helped me cultivate my own sound.
I see that. I think might have been more of me being naive most of the time, but I just thought it was more of like cholo rap was all that's ever been here, or that's all the music that anyone does. But then I heard you, and then I start hearing these other people that do it. I'm like, you know what? The sound is so diverse and just like a mixture of everything. Like, it's not just, it's just like this cholo type, kind of have your faith in there. You know, like
and I love
old school music type vibe,
Yeah, you know, on the I call it the brown boy music, you know. Like,
sounds about right.
You know, like, cause I mean, and don't get me wrong, like, you know, like, I like that kind of music too, you know. It's just out here, you know, like okay, son, like out here, too many people do that sound, and I mean, I feel like. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I feel like a lot of that sound starts to get played out. But I mean, a lot of the sounds that are in hip hop now are starting to get played out, you know, like, or that was big back in the day. Like we used to be serious about, you know, who had the heaviest bars, you know what I mean? Who had the hottest 16, you know what I mean? That's what was hip hop, and now it's more about, we have a lot of artists talking about, you know, rather singing on the track or making a whole a whole track, like a recording track instead of a rap track. And I feel like it puts us in a beautiful space as far as music goes for hip hop artists as well, because I mean, it allows us to be exposed to different sounds, and that ultimately helps our artist development, you know. But out here, I mean, there's a lot of good names as far as we go, cause like we have like myself, of course, and then like we got this group called Active that's out here, and they're pretty nice, you know what I mean. And then one of his name is AC. He's pretty dope too, you know what I mean? So, I mean, as far as talent goes out here, talent is nice. Like, we have a lot of talent out here, and I feel like it's time for our city to start being put on the map, you know?
I definitely agree, and I think we're in that age of social media where we have the opportunity to finally showcase a lot more than probably 10 years ago, I would say.
Yeah, it actually, I feel like social media ended up leveling the playing field. Cause see, like, I remember when I first started, like before people started realizing just how big social media is, or as it was starting to hit the bubble, you know, everybody would always say, you know, like, you're not gonna make it from here, you know, being from Albuquerque, it's gonna be hard to make it. And I mean, in some sense, yeah, because it's pretty much a media dead zone, you know, but in that same facet, we have social media. So really, my hometown, I don't have to blow up from my hometown per se, you know what I mean? Like, I could be here, but I could have my loyal fan base somewhere in let's say, where I got somewhere? I got people out in California and New York that listen to me, you know what I mean? But that could be, you know, they could be considered, I could be considered a hometown favorite out there. So it basically leveled the playing field. But in that same facet, it may level the playing field. So everybody's able to pretty much do it. It's just a matter of like doing it the right way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we can't just drop songs. You know what I mean? Like, we actually have to be able to push and put something behind it and make ourselves stand out. If we can't do that, then we're just going to get lost in the pool, you feel me? That's what that is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because I listen to different podcasts or just different shows and stuff like that, and like, that's always the big thing is like, you can't just make it off of just dropping songs anymore, because even big artists too, like, if they just drop a song, unless you're like a rare talent, like, nobody really cares. Unless you're like maybe a Jay-Z that doesn't drop songs all the time.
Yeah.
Then you just drop one and then everyone just, or J. Cole, you just swarm to it.
And everybody just swarm to it. But I feel like that also goes into the marketing too. Like, I think it's the way that they market, excuse me, the way that they market themselves and branded themselves, it being the reason why they're able to get away with moving like that. Because even Russ can get away with doing stuff like that too. And I think it's more on awareness and building the relationship with you know, the supporters and the fan base. Because if you think about it, like J. Cole fans and Jay-Z fans, like, we don't consider ourselves fans. We consider ourselves part of a movement, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the movement aspect of it allows for a fan base to have a deeper connection to the artist himself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because not everybody's gonna like, you know, lyricism. Like, there's some people that think J. Cole's corny. You know what I mean? There's people that think Jay-Z's corny. And I mean, there's also people that think, you know, they're the dopest thing on the planet, you know? And that goes for a lot of artists, you know? And I honestly think it boils down to just how the artist interacts with the fans. I feel like if you build that relationship up, you're able to get to a point to where you can make music as a full-time career.
Yeah, I definitely see there is a way to make music a full-time career. Yeah. You just have to put in the work. There's there's no like excuses no more with all the tools that you could just do on your own to blow up now.
Yes.
Like, you don't need like a label or even like a lot of executives or all kinds of people behind you to do all of it now, because you could do most of it by yourself.
Yeah, and that is the cold, hard facts behind it. You feel me? Like we can do it ourselves, and record labels are starting to know this. You know, like they're starting to know that artists are knowing that they're becoming obsolete, and so a lot of artists now, like labels are signing left to right, like doing back to back to back. You know, some artists are getting hit with 360 deals. You know, just basically the label getting a piece of everything, and it's because artists is realizing that they don't really need the machine of the label to do anything. Now, granted, it's going to be harder. It's going to be like 1,000 times harder. You feel me? But it's more rewarding in the end because you end up making more money in the end. You know, thank God for places like United Masters and DistroKid and things like that, so that way the artist can be independent and create his own stream of revenue. And nowadays, like record labels are even starting record labels, which is bananas to me because, like, if you think back in the day when hip hop first started, most companies with artists couldn't do that. Like we have Jay-Z, Master P, Birdman. And then like Convict music with Akon, and this is just like going like back. Like I don't have to go like back because as I start going forward, then you're going to the more relevant people like Kanye West and the J. Cole's and those people that own labels. And I feel like the opportunity. Shout out to Master P. I feel like him making that opportunity with Universal when he started the No Limit Records pushed the independent movement and thus changed the rap game entirely.
I definitely agree with that because, like, I think T.I.'s podcast, he had Master P on there, and he was talking to him about that and how, like, much it, like, impacted everybody from T.I. to everyone else to make more money and to make smarter decisions when it came to deals with labels or anything like that.
Yeah. I know. Actually, I'd seen that episode too, because they were talking about the independent movement. Yeah, I'm actually thankful for it. Like I mean, it's tough. Like they didn't tell artists exactly how tough that it is. You feel me? And it's tough. However, it is manageable and it is doable. You just have to have the dedication. If you have enough dedication to put the work in, you'll make it. Like now, me being an artist and me being an independent artist at that, like I see the hustle that they ended up having. All the independent artists that you have. The Chance to Rappers. The hustle, the Nipsey Hustles. The Master P's. When you look at them and see how they hustle, they really laid out a blueprint. Even though they don't say, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. You feel me? They laid out a blueprint. Like, okay, this is what the kind of moves that they made, the decision that they made. Maybe that might be the smarter move to make, even though it might be tougher. And now I feel like being an independent takes away from it being a job. And that's why we have a lot more. I don't want to say better sounding music, but the music doesn't sound like it's coming out of a genre box. Like hip hop is now everywhere. Hip hop is now R&B. Hip hop is now also country. You know what I mean? Like
it's not forced.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not forced. It's not a forced grungy. It's not a forced, skibbity bebop to pow. You feel me? It's nothing forced. It's them getting a vibe of the beat, them putting their words and their vibe on that beat, and that's going to get hip hop. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing that we've created.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cause I see the diversity in hip hop right now. Even within rock and country and just every genre of type of music right now. Cause I didn't think that you could mix rap with a lot of different things, but now it's people are becoming more creative because they are being more independent now.
Yeah.
So like it's given them an opportunity to just experiment, and it's
Yes.
working out now.
And see, and that's the whole thing. I think knowing that concept is where I'm at as far as me being an artist. Like we have to be able to experiment ourselves. You feel me? We have to. Otherwise, we're gonna get lost in the pool of relativity. You feel me? So like with this album, I.M.E, I basically put more than one style of myself onto this album. I have myself where like some tracks I keep it upbeat and grungy, and I don't want to say grungy, but like where I'm just like talking my shit, you know. And then I got other ones where like they hit you in the feels, or they'll hit you in the gut where you're like, dang, I felt that, homie, you know. And it all comes from being able to experiment. If you're not willing to experiment, you're gonna end up stagnating and keeping yourself lost in the group of relativity. What's that say? Yeah. You good now? Okay. Get down. I'll change you here in a sec.
So let's go and jump into. So the first song is Havoc.
Havoc. Yeah, that's the intro to the album I.M.E. Havoc is, to sum it up real quick, it's my ego. I'm letting my raw ego talk. And I call it Havoc because when I allow myself to let loose, things can get wild, like pretty wild. And so in that track, you know, I basically speak about how I'm feeling about myself in the point that I am in my life and in my career, you know, because like I've been pretty humble as far as everything goes, and I'm still humble. You feel me? I'm still humble because I'm not nearly as big as I want to be, but I'm bigger than what I am and where I was. You know, so I'm just letting let my ego talk a little bit and letting people know, you know, like even though I'm laid back, I'm not the one to mess with. You feel me? I just chill and do what I want basically. I kick back, mind my business, smoke my weed, get to the bag.
So almost like a superhero persona. That's like you're Batman or you're Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
This is your like Peter Parker.
Exactly. Exactly. That is exactly it. That's my Hulk to my Bruce Banner.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then with your other song, Bands.
Ooh, Bands. Oh, I love that one. This track. Cause I said it bands. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, bands. When we think about bands, you know, I'm talking about money. I'm trying to get all of the money. All of the money. I'm trying to get it all, and then some. You feel me? And then some. And basically, what I'm doing in that song is it's a kind of song that gives you, you know. It makes you want to get up and hustle, get up and do something. It makes you want to dance. Makes you want to, that's, what I was going for. It make you want to think about things other than, what the next celebrity is eating for lunch. Think about something. Think about something productive. That's why I said, think about bands today. Run it real quick like on the lane. That's thinking about, getting to the money, getting to it as fast as I can. And it was actually, I think Bands was actually the second song that I wrote. The second song that I wrote for the album. Yeah, I want to say that was the second song that I wrote. And I knew once I started writing it and it hit on the beat, I knew this was going to be it. This is going to be one of those ones where like people are going to they can't deny my greatness. That's how it is.
So I like that it comes off as confidence and not cocky, because
Yeah.
there's always that fine line that separates everything, but
Exactly.
it's more of confidence that I get from you instead of you being like arrogant or cocky or anything like that.
Yeah, because confidence goes a long way. I mean, if you're arrogant, you know, a lot of things could happen. A lot of bad things could happen. You set yourself up for failure that way. You know, so I just try to keep myself confident. Cause it's tough to be confident in this business, and it's easy to get cocky and big-headed about yourself. So I just tell myself, you ain't great yet. You feel me? I just tell myself that, to keep myself going, to keep myself hungry.
Oh yeah, I like that mindset. And then shooting star.
Shooting Star. Alright, well, Shooting Star has to do about the women. That's the song that goes towards the ladies. Basically, what Shooting Star is it talks about the girl in the back of the class, you know, in the back of the room, that girl that you know, she feels misunderstood. You know, she's a real sweetheart, but she's had her heart broken too many times. So she has this guard up and this wall up to where she thinks that guys aren't, you know, worth the trouble. You know, and that's what that song is for. It's basically speaking about that girl who feels unappreciated and feels unnoticed, and all that jazz.
And then catch a vibe.
Catch a vibe. Let's catch a vibe. Yeah, so catch a vibe is, I mean, it's basically what I'm trying to do. I just try to chill. And like girls think, you know, when a guy asks them to chill, you feel me? We're trying to get in. You feel me? We're trying to get in their pants. And that's not the case. That's not the case all the time. Well, I mean, at least not with me. I'm not trying to get in the box all the time. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, you know, I mean, I'm probably gonna be like, okay, you know. But as far as that goes, I mean, I really just try to smoke and chill and vibe out, you know, listen to some music and just kick it with somebody. And that's what the song "Catch a Vibe" is about. You know, it's about you catching a vibe with a shorty, you know, and doing things that give you a vibe. You know, whether you're driving, you know, having deep conversations, just all that jazz. Yeah.
Nice. And then So Gone. What is that one about?
So gone. Alright. Well, this is how I cope with myself. That's how I'm gonna summarize it real quick. It's how I cope with the way that I feel about things, you know, like whenever I get upset or I'm sad about things or thoughts that are in my head, things that I've been through. See, in the song, it basically speaks about, you know, my struggles and me trying to just correct them. So, I mean, I don't recommend this to everybody, you know, like I smoke a lot of cannabis, you feel me, and that's just how I get through what I get through. So Gone, it speaks about, you know, me having that coping mechanism that I have, and I do it in order to keep myself going.
It makes sense.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last song, $1 Billion Dreams.
$1 Billion Dreams.
I mean, it might be self-explanatory, but we never know.
$1 Billion Dreams. Well, yeah. I mean, it almost speaks for itself. It's ever since I was a young kid and a youngin', I've always dreamt about being rich. That's been my goal. Fame isn't the goal. Being famous is not the goal. Being rich is my goal. And richer than rich. You know, like I'm talking like wealthy, where my grandchildren's grandchildren's
Yeah.
You know, and that's what $1 Billion Dreams is basically about. You know, it's about what I grind for, why I grind, and basically how I operate. Because I mean, there's women that will try to throw you off track. You know, and I'm not saying that, you know, it's not okay to have fun with your vices. You know what I mean? But make sure you handle business first. Like, business has to be taken care of first. You got to make sure that you lay your track right, and you got, you know, the press ready, and you got all this stuff ready before you go and you try to go mess with shorty who's calling you, blowing you up, trying to be a groupie. You feel me? And that's what that track is about. It's about, you know, my dreams and aspirations and the sum of everything that I want to accomplish. Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and that's I.M.E. You know, I.M.E. You know, it stands for like I'm myself, but I'm also everybody. So I, myself, everybody. And each song I feel like is gonna be relatable to each person who listens to it. That they'll be able to relate to it in their own facet, and that's the ultimate goal that I was going for. Because if you think about it, I'm not that different than you, and you're not that different than me, and I'm not that different than Cole. The only difference is probably our decisions or the way that we think. You know what I mean?
True. I had a question. I'm trying to remember what it was.
You're good.
So when making an album, do you come up with the concept of the album first, or do you have the music first, and then you just kind of like, okay, let me pick and choose what songs kind of fit with this idea? Because that's different for everybody.
Yeah,
I've heard different artists talk about it, and everyone has a different process. Some say one works and the other doesn't.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to me, when it comes to recording an album, I don't know. I approach it in, I guess, for the vibe of, like, literally for the vibe of the album that I want. Like I.M.E, for instance, like, I wanted this album to be something where I separated myself from the amateur, right? So I wanted to give off the professional, pro sounds, right? But I also wanted to give off me being the chill person that I am. And I also wanted to give, you know, like give a story about who I am at the same time. So when I was writing that album, I found the beats first. Whatever the instrumental gave me, like as far as the vibe the instrumental gave me, let me know if I wanted it to be on that album or not. And it's kind of funny because when I started this album, the first song I wrote is the last song on the album, $1 Billion Dreams. And when I wrote that first song, and I was like, this is pretty nice. It's nice enough to be like on a project. I knew that every song that I put on the project that $1 Billion Dreams was gonna be on had to be on par with it. So I guess it just bases, people should base it off the way that they write the song. Like if the song seems like it's a hit, then put that song on the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that idea for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but writing is probably one of the toughest process. it's a long process. It's a tedious process, but it's a process that's worth it. Cause it's almost like doing a painting.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, like we don't get the Mona Lisa right away, even though we want it to be. You know, it takes time to make the Mona Lisa.
Very true. You have to, like, all the little technical stuff that you don't see going into something is what everyone works on, that you don't see behind the scenes or anything like that.
Correct. And I feel like that's what separates the great from the mediocre, the professional from the amateurish, it separates the ones who really want it and the ones who don't. You know, how long you do in that process on technicalities behind the scenes. Whatever you like, I feel like literally that's the defining factor. Cause like there are people out here who make way better music than I do. You feel me? There's also people out here who make music worse than I do. You feel me? And we're all in different positions. Some are further than me, and some I'm further than them. You know, but it's the defining factor of like being in that technicality part of the process.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So these are gonna be like some random questions, just like maybe your thoughts.
For sure.
So, who's your favorite like new artist that's come out? Cause like I know you were talking about like there's always the whole lyricism, and then there's the singing, and then the mumbling, and different things like that. Cause like I've listened to some of the like double XL freshman like freestyles and stuff like that, and the last one I like. There were some good ones on it, and then there was some that I was just like,
yeah, he was like
that sounds like a little kid wrote that, or it just sounds like really bad.
You feel me? Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel like, I think, who would I call my favorite? As far as who just came out, I fucks with the baby heavy. Yellow Beezy for sure. The homie Duke Deuce. He's pretty nice too. I mean, I'm not, cause I listen to a lot of music. I listen to a whole lot, but I feel like the baby, Duke Deuce, and NLE Chopper. NLE Chopper's those are like my top three as far as the new guys who came out. I like their style and the way that they go, cause like the baby. Even though he raps in that Migos flow, he actually influenced one of my songs on the album. Yeah, he actually influenced one of the songs. Just his style and his creativity. Just cause like I fucked with his style. You feel me? And just like how he has fun with his lyrics. Cause I could tell he's like he can snap, but he's just doing what he's doing commercially. You feel me? Duke Deuce has his own sound. You feel me? He's basically bringing back the whole Crunk Town, you know, where like how Lil Jon and them were doing back in the day. That's what Duke Deuce is doing. So I rock with that. And then NLE Chopper, I mean, he's in the relevant sound that's relevant to hip hop today. But his sound is so unique that you know that it's him. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't sound like everybody else out here. And I like his originality. So like those three as a combination, dude, like those guys are nice.
Oh yeah. And there's like a lot of different ones out there right now that are combining either styles and they're just standing out on their own right now.
Yeah.
There's a dude named 1K Few, and so the thing about him is he's really like very melodic with all his music.
Yeah.
So it sounds like really good, like Juice WRLD or like any of them.
See, I like Juice WRLD too.
Or stuff like that. But also, if you actually listen closely to his lyrics, he's a lyricist inside of the melodic sound that nobody is like really catching on. And like was it him? It was someone, they were doing a review on his music.
Yeah.
Or they were interviewing him, and that's what he said. He's like, nobody's catching my bars in there, but if you actually listen, he's like, I'm throwing straight bars in everything that I'm doing.
See, and that's the kind of music that I can get behind, because there's a couple artists that are coming out like that too, and I feel like if I'm gonna be around among a niche, I want to be around that niche. You know, the ones that like where we can be melodic and be a lyricist at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like that. I feel like those artists are gonna have longevity, just because they have so many different styles that they can play with.
Oh yeah, because I think I follow him on Instagram and stuff like that, and then watch all his interviews.
Yeah.
And I think one of his songs was picked up by 2K. So his song's in the new 2K20 game.
Which song is it? Because I play 2K20 all the time.
I can't remember. I'll have to see, because he has 1K Few, and who was the guy that he featured on there? I can't remember who the other guy was.
I think I might have heard this song because I was playing 2K the other day.
And then so there's that one, and then he got picked up for an Atlanta Falcons song. So his music's played, I think, either before the game or something, or halftime or something, and then I think he was picked up for like another like professional sports team too.
Oh wow.
For like their training camp and stuff like that.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I think they reached out to him and they're like, the theme is champion, and they're like, we just need you to come out with a song like that. And then he did, and then another one, because he's from Atlanta, so...
I wonder if he's on United Masters.
I'm not too sure. I know he signed with Reach Records.
Ooh, Reach Records?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's one of the big guys with him. What Up RG's one of the other top guys on that label right now.
Yeah.
They have so many different styles, to be honest, in there. Because, like, you have Lecrae, which is kind of his hands in, like, every pot, doing every style.
Yeah.
And then you got 1K Few, which is probably the biggest guy right now.
Okay.
And then What Up RG is, like, this Mexican kid that is just, like, doing everything, just popping off. And then you got... Who's some of the other guys that they have in there? They got a guy named Gavi. He's this Puerto Rican rapper, but he's all into EDM, so all that type of stuff.
Oh, that's tight. I bet those beats are stupid.
Oh, yeah, he started off as a producer for them.
Oh,
and then
nice.
Lecrae was like, hey, I know you sing and stuff too. So they signed him in as an artist as well. And he's already had, I think, like 2 EPs and an album already out.
Wow.
And I think he performed here at Freedom Fest too. At the Isotope Stadium.
Yeah.
Because I saw him there, I was like, oh, cool.
That's lit.
And one of his like top songs is probably a remix to Cumbia by Selena.
Okay.
He remixed it, yeah, with this one dude called Wordsplay, and he jumped on there and he was rapping the whole thing. So yeah.
I fucks with it, and see that's I think that's just pretty dope as far as artistry goes. You know, being able to have an expansive range, like being able to produce, like if you can produce your own music, you don't need anybody. You could be a self-sufficient.
Oh yeah.
You could be self-sufficient for sure. Like I mean, I know how to. I can record myself. I can record myself all day long. But as far as if it comes to for me making my own beats.
Oh yeah. So like, I definitely gotta show you some of the videos because this dude, he was part of this like rap group, and then they kind of disbanded because one was like, I'm not really getting the recognition for my talent. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna become like a vlogger with his family. So his family vlogs blew up because he is really like. He's like vlogging like his family, and no one really sees how like the black family is really structured and everything, and how like their culture is. So like he did that, and he blew up. He's like partnered with like Pampers and different things like that, doing commercials for them and Disneyland, stuff like that. So he turned his skill into rapping to making like little kid nursery rap to add to his vlogs, which make it stand out, and his little kids will sing along to it.
See, that is marketing done right, but that is also like business done right. That is being able to find a problem, like recognize a problem, find a solution, and the solution being better than the problem itself.
Oh yeah, and then he did, I think, a kid's book based off of his family too, because he was like as a kid, you don't really see any colored families in kids' books. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to create my own. I already have a fan base, and, you know, provide like an answer to like a need that isn't really there right now.
Yeah, and it's amazing, because representation is powerful. And like this is how powerful it is. My son, okay, we talk about Spider-Man, right?
Oh yeah.
When you look at Spider-Man, we've seen Peter Parker and how Peter Parker's looked our entire life. Then we get into the Spider-Verse and we're introduced to Miles Morales. Bro, he cannot get off of that movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's just because Spider-Man looks like him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like representation is powerful. When Black Panther came out, you feel me? Like it did something for the black community where we were just like there was like a unification. It was something so beautiful. I've never seen black folks so unified without something negative happening.
Yeah,
you know?
it was something like positive and something like so simple.
So simple.
But yet so powerful that just brought everybody together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually one of my goals too. Like I want to be able to do TV shows and movies and programs to where there's representation for, I don't want to say everybody, but damn near everybody. Where like those who aren't getting representation can get the representation without pushing any agenda of anything else besides love yourself.
Oh yeah.
And be the best you can be. I mean, cause like now we're in a society that teaches us like it's not okay to love yourself, and if you love yourself, don't love yourself too much. And that's something that I feel like has to stop as far as us as a people go. I mean, cause we have so many people like we have so many kids, right? Who probably have Einstein level genius. You feel me? They're probably like the best. Like they're probably the smartest kid to ever live. You know what I mean? But we live in a society that teaches us, don't shine bright. Keep yourself dimmed. Keep yourself. Don't stand out. You know what I mean? Try to fit in. And because we have that, we have a lot of people that end up not feeling for themselves or thinking for their own selves, and representation can actually help that a lot. Because see, like, all right, I could be wrong. I could be wrong for thinking like this, but I feel like literally a representation in movies and stuff like that, and how people are represented, has direct correlation to how we interact with each other as people outside of it. For example, if a movie shows a black man as a thug, right? He's a gangster, so he's doing what he has to do. I feel like society subconsciously will think, well, he's probably a thug. And the reason why I think about it like that is because if you ever watch a scary movie, right, and like Jaws,
oh yeah,
for instance, right, like you're not like you're more likely to get struck by lightning than you are to get ate by a great white. Yet more people are afraid of the ocean and a great white shark than they are being struck by lightning. You feel me? And looking at it like that, I feel like literally our representation, like the way we represent ourselves. Like I feel like if we had more people of ethnic backgrounds promoting themselves as businessmen, lawyers, judges, then we'd have more people of ethnic backgrounds as lawyers and judges and businessmen. And I say that because like everybody wants to be Tony Montana. Everybody wants to be him. You feel me?
oh yeah. And I think there's this one dude, KD even talks about it too. So I don't think he has his own record label, but he has his own company now, which is a clothing line, and he wants to only hire like people like in minorities, to empower them and to be like, hey, you're important. And same thing with like Tyler Perry and his studios, which was like super big when I saw
that was the most amazing move ever. I was like, when I seen that, I set goals. And knowing that, I know whenever I want to make my movie, when I make my movie, that's where I'm going to go to get my movie to be made. Simply because it's a black-owned business, and he turned it from a Confederate camp, a place that was determined to keep slaves enslaved, and now he owns it. The black man owns it.
Oh yeah. And
I feel like that is that is representation in and itself. That makes kids want to be like, hey, I want to be like him. He has his own movie set. Oh yeah. Like that stuff is beautiful. And I actually kind of strive for the same thing, because see, I'm getting ready to start my own clothing line. I actually have an online clothing line, online store and everything. It's called Fly Nestle. You feel me? And when I get my building and start hiring employees, I mean, in that same facet, like I want all minorities. I want the minorities to be working here. You know, like more than anything. Like, I mean, of course, I want everybody working there. You feel me? Don't get it. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. Don't nobody get it twisted. I want everybody working for me. But my market is for the minorities because I know how tough it is being a minority trying to do something for yourself. That's what legit, you know?
Yeah. So to wrap it up, why should they listen to this album?
Alright, well, check this out. I think, I'm gonna say it like this. Y'all need to go check out I.M.E. Okay, it's gonna be on all streaming platforms. You need to check it out because this is my debut album. I've been making music for about 6 years, and it's my first project that I've been working on. I just started working with United Masters, so I mean, you know, this is the come up before the come up. So I mean, I recommend you guys listen to it. You know, it's gonna be great. If you want great music and get tired of hearing the same old stuff that you're hearing, this would be a great thing to pick up. As far as that goes, follow me on Instagram at D2FLY23 or D2FLY22. You can follow me on Facebook at D2FLY, or you can follow me on Twitter at D2FLY_23. I'm basically out there everywhere, so you can find me. You can find all the information that you need to find. And yeah, peace.
Cool.